Okay, great. I'm Angie with Breakwater Expeditions. Thank you guys for being here. And I'm going to talk to you about the summer programs we have. We have 3 trips. Little overview of all 3, and I'm going to talk about each a little bit more. We have our River and Rocks trip, our Boots and Paddle trip, and our Sea Kayaking Ocean Adventure trip. All of our trips are camping. About 95% of it is camping. There are some hotels and Airbnbs before flying in and out, but it is camping. Expeditions are full of surprises. Our itineraries are often subject to change. No experience necessary on any of these trips. We teach all the skills needed. We've got the gear, so all students need to show up with is the clothing, the packing list. We accommodate all the food allergies if there are any, and you can do more than one trip. They're all back to back, so that if anyone wants to do more than one or all 3, that is available to students. So let's jump into the first trip, the fun stuff. So River and Rocks is in Utah. It starts and ends in Salt Lake City. We pick you up at the airport. We paddle the Green River, and it's about 68 miles that we'll accomplish, about 10 to 15 miles a day. And we camp along the river. Now, these are primitive remote camping in this area. So we bring our bathroom system, our dishwashing system, our cooking system, all of that. When we finish up the river part of this trip, the river expedition, we come off the river and we head to Moab, Utah, where we get to experience canyoneering for 2 days. This is pretty exciting activity. A lot of people don't or haven't experienced this activity. It involves ropes and technical gear, and we scramble and climb onto a lot of rocks, and then we drop into the canyons to explore those. So that's 2 days. While we're in Moab, we are still camping. However, we go into town and have showers and laundry and kind of get cleaned up and have dinner in town, which is usually the choice of pizza. So then after we drop everyone back off at the Salt Lake City airport, guides and whoever has chosen to do the next trip transition up to Montana. Boots and Paddle, 14 days. This is the longest of the 2 trips that we have, or sorry, of the 3 trips that we have, July 8th through the 21st. We begin our expedition out of Bozeman, Montana, heading into Yellowstone National Park. We'll backpack for about 5 days, on average 6 to 9 miles a day. Again, the hiking is beginner level in Yellowstone. It's a lot of rolling hills. It's not a lot of peak climbs. The camping and the scenery is amazing. The bison, if you've been to Yellowstone, you totally understand what I'm saying. And the best part is we get off the roads and we're in the backcountry. So it's very beautiful in there, and we spend 5 days. When we come off, we transition in Bozeman, Montana, and we stay at a hot spring where we get showers, do our laundry again, and transition to the next section of the Boots and Paddle, the paddle section. Right outside of Great Falls is the Missouri River. This is the historic area of Lewis and Clark. We're going to spend 4 or 5 days on the river. I say 4 or 5 because depending on the group and depending on how fast they get to the end destination, we either take off the water and drive away, or we take off the water and camp for the night. About 9 to 14 miles a day paddling. This is a great follow-up to backpacking because by this point, everybody wants to be swimming in the water and cooling off. And we've taken our gear and everything that we've been using from our backs and put it in a boat. And it is very fun part of the trip to do that. The whitewater rafting day is at the end of this river expedition, and that is in Alberton Gorge, Montana. And then students fly out of Missoula. So this trip is fly into Bozeman, fly out of Missoula. Or transition to the third trip, which is sea kayaking in San Juan Islands of Washington. We pick students up in Seattle at the airport. We drive up to Anacortes, take a ferry over to the islands, Lopez Island, and from there we circumnavigate Shaw Island. We paddle about 7 to 9 miles a day. We camp in state parks along the water. The state parks are beautiful. There are bathrooms on these state parks and picnic tables, and we will see more people on this trip and houses and things, more so than the other two trips. However, it is still remote, and we will also see a lot of ocean wildlife and plant life. The harbor seals usually stay with us the whole time during this trip. At the end of this trip, we do take off the water and go to an Airbnb close by to the airport and celebrate with dinner together and showering and packing for traveling home. So a little bit more about us. So our intention is on our trips is we're creating a tribe, a family of individuals working together. The way that we do that is through the expedition life. Expeditions are journeys into the unknown. That alone bonds people to a shared experience that most people have never done before, which, as you can imagine, has a very deep impact on how we socialize and create connections between each other. A lot of the students stay friends for quite a long time or forever after these trips. We also use graduated challenges. So our guides are able to train and teach all the skills needed so that students can start to feel empowered and take on more and more responsibility on the trips. We also set up a safe, open environment where communication can be, communication skills can be taught. We open the door to feedback, accountability, conflict resolution, so that students can start practicing that empathy and compassion with each other. Our guides are professionally trained. They have medical backgrounds. Usually they have a background in either social work or wilderness therapy or other experiential education. And above all else, they're super fun and they love to work with teens. And our focus becomes pretty easy when we're in these remote destinations. We really want to unplug from the busyness of life, and we really want to connect to each other and not our devices. So empowering each other to work together as a team and using strength-based language with each other and really focusing on the skills that we can build together. We see students walk away with more confidence, resilience, healthy relationships, and a beautiful sense of awe for the world that they live in. Just going back to here, and yeah, if you have any questions, please reach out, and yeah, just reach out. Thank you. I think I'm over time.